Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Veda Theory. My name is Josh. I am your host this evening, but I'm also accompanied by my fellow partners here. We got Stefan, the lethal weapon, on the right side. Tell the world what's up. What's up?
The freaking deadliest in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
The Flying Hawaiian.
The Flying Hawaiian.
The Flying
Flying over the
Hawaiian.
podcast game.
Right.
Damn, there you go. And then on my left side here, we got my main man, Abel. What's up, Abel? How you doing?
Four Balls Podcast, baby. We in this bitch.
Oh yeah, y'all watch him on the Four Boss podcast.
Hear us on audio.
Here.
Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes. How y'all guys doing? How was your day today?
Dude, my day was pretty chill today. Started a new job today, a new occupation, if you will.
Nice.
So, it's pretty chill work.
Congrats, man.
It is for a
Yeah,
packaging
man,
company
congrats.
that will remain nameless, since I don't want any of my fans out there tracking me down at work and stuff. That'd be highly embarrassing from the management.
You might just pull
So-
up
Hey,
at
well,
their
I'm gonna
house,
grind.
though.
We all gotta grind, bro. Don't worry.
You never know.
We'll see. Cross that bridge if it ever happens.
That's right.
What about you guys? How you guys doing?
Splendid. Just, surviving the day, surviving the week.
Okay.
Just, happy to be here again with you guys, man.
Thanks, man.
It's been a minute.
Yeah. It
Glad
has.
to have you,
It's
Abel.
always fun.
I haven't guest spotted on a Faded Theory episode in quite some time.
Yeah,
So
been a
it's gonna be
minute.
cool,
Good having you.
Having some dope tripped out conversations today.
So what we got for us, Josh?
Well, I mean, I was gonna ask, since the day's coming up, are you guys ready for Halloween?
Halloween, huh?
Yeah.
Damn, we're
You
only
guys got your costumes?
when's Halloween? Sunday?
Sunday.
So we're only a few days away. I mean,
What you gonna dress up as?
I like the day. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not really into dressing up as much. But I mean, I like to go with the theme, you know. I'll try to dress up as simple as it gets, you know, just to get by the party, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I mean,
Oh,
I like the
dude.
scary movies. That's my thing.
You guys been watching any scary
Oh
movies?
hell yeah!
I love watching scary movies, especially when fall hits and brings with it one of my
Exactly.
favorite holidays, Halloween.
Halloween.
So yeah, man, I've been watching some horror movies all throughout the month. Some like newer ones, like for example, Halloween Kills. Check that one out, and I've
Okay.
checked out,
I've heard good things about it.
and I've even checked out like some classic ones, like the
Same.
original Mummy, not the
Ooh.
one with Brendan Fraser, but like the old one.
Before that,
Yeah, there's actually a lot of similarities to it in
Oh, really?
the reboot that they did with Brendan Fraser.
yeah,
and,
check that out, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was pretty sick. Some old cheesy Frankenstein movie, The Curse of Frankenstein. A really gothic and kind of creepy classic tale of the young traveler finding himself trapped inside a gothic castle owned by a vampire. And that's sick. I believe it's pronounced vampire. And it's got like a red cover with a black silhouette of a person with a scythe.
Oh, it's the one you told me. I still need to watch it. Yeah.
Check that out.
It's on there.
It's like a foreign film from, I can't remember if it's Polish or French.
Caesar, you ready for the cut the film, man?
Shoot, man. Cut the film. I don't know if I'm on your level, Abel.
Hey, we're gonna come back to that one pretty soon, man. Stay tuned for that, cause you know me, I'm a movie junkie.
I don't know if
Yeah,
I'm
it's
on
been
your
a lot of
level
good
of
things coming out,
cinematic
a lot of
calculation.
movies, a lot
Well,
of
shit,
good
you
shows.
beat me with the classics right now. I haven't watched any of those yet. I watched a few of them, but I mean, I watched the Living Dead. What's it, the Night of the Living Dead? I'm sorry. I watched Wishmaster not that long ago.
Hey.
Watched
Okay.
Candyman. You know,
The old
The new
school
one?
or
Old
the
school
new
one.
Oh,
Okay.
sick.
so I'm trying to go back into the classic blue. You know, it's more
Nightmare
more
Before
faded
Christmas.
more faded suspense. You know, more faded story. You know, I try to watch more.
I'm a
high,
big
so-
zombie guy, so I'm just like. you
See, I
know,
can't really get into zombies
28 weeks later.
But you just said that you watched Night of the Living
That's
Dead.
what I'm saying. I give it a chance.
Classic.
Those are classic. Those
George
are
Romero
those are
zombie
good
movies.
classics.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying
Very
to give it a chance. You
enjoyable.
know, trying to be a little bit more open-minded about things.
Yeah, well, there you
Just
go.
get you in that spooky mood too, you know.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
then like
It's Halloween.
Stefan said, it's fall, so it's just
It's
like
just faded time right now,
the
bro.
day's coming.
It's faded times right now. Going through, you know, especially around, like you said, fall happens to be your favorite time of the year. You know,
It
a
is.
lot of faded,
Yeah, man.
scary movies, you know, to watch.
Yeah.
Faded that just means, but also being faded. Faded is about being the thought of, wow, that's faded. Like, whoa, like you're just blown away. You know, obviously by the image or by the picture.
The cinematics,
The
cinematics of
you know,
everything.
obviously, it's not just faded theory means like something that catches your eye that you know
Yeah.
just blows you away.
You just don't expect someone to pull it off
Yeah,
the way they pull
that's
it
why
That's
off.
textbook, ladies and
That's
gentlemen.
That's my
talent right
definition
there,
of faded.
bro.
Like, oh shit, that's fucking faded, bro. Like, how'd you think of that? You know, Or how they come up with it is like, that's so faded, you know? That's the term we use pretty often around
Yeah.
here.
No.
Are you beating
But at
me
the
on
same
the faded
time,
meter right now? Are you
I don't know, well, I'm pretty high. You pretty high?
he's another faded level.
right, man?
Oh,
I'm
well.
as low as you can go.
So what's up, Josh?
On a natural high.
So
How'd you been, man? You didn't tell us how you been.
good, man. Kind of took a little break
Yeah, I know, man.
from work. Had to stay home.
Hey, it happens, man. Shit.
Breaks are always good for one's mental health, man.
Yeah, we all,
Here
Yeah.
and there.
even thugs gotta learn how to take it easy sometimes, you know? Tupac says.
Yeah, I just didn't take care of myself and I got sick and I was like, oh,
That's
I just
good.
couldn't go to work. I just had to freaking stay at home. Did catch up on a lot of stuff. So like you said, that's
No.
I've been watching scary
He
movies.
couldn't go to
But
work, but he
it's-
could go to EDC, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Ah,
yeah, I just pulled it on the
Call
spot
him
too.
out.
Hey,
He must have been feeling better by then. You know?
yeah,
you
it
faded?
was.
as long as you were faded, bro.
Oh, I was hella faded there.
Alright, that's all that
Yeah, I heard they
But-
cut ecstasy with a lot of vitamin C nowadays.
Vitamin C,
Yeah, healed you up, right? Up and nice and quick.
basically just an aspirin, bro.
I just played.
It takes away the back pain.
Ecstasy is so 90s. Nobody does that anymore.
So,
Now we snort Tide Pods.
So nuts.
oh my God, that's just a full-on different type of conspiracy that we're gonna talk about later on about all that stuff.
Stay tuned.
We smoke
Yeah.
cinnamon sticks.
Cinnamon
That's the new
sticks.
craze.
Orange
Nah,
Roach
just
is pure
playing.
hand
That
right
or just freaking spoon, just toss that shit in your mouth and see if that shit was.
now.
What the heck? A spoon of cinnamon?
Yeah,
challenge?
yeah, this I don't know, it's some crazy shit. I don't know. People do some stupid
Shit was
things.
wild.
Sorry about that.
I wasn't gonna
guys,
do that
but
milk crate challenge. That's for sure. People are getting jacked up. Oh my
That was
god!
funny.
See, that's faded. That's faded thing right there.
Now that's a faded
That's a
theory.
faded-
if you ask
that's
me.
a faded
What the
thing
fuck's
right there. What's up with
Yeah.
people?
What are the real faded theories we're gonna get into today?
So
What's going on
today,
today?
we're
I mean,
keeping it
tonight.
on that, yeah, like I said, Halloween's coming up. It's not all just spooky. It's also like things that just bring people, like, what would you say? Like, it makes people think. So it's just like we're gonna go into like a darker side. I mean, we're gonna be talking
Bizarre.
cartoons today.
Bizarre, huh?
You know, cartoons. It's everything.
Okay.
It's a topic that everybody loves. You know, we were all kids at one
We
point,
caught
so there was cartoons that we all watched, and but like I said, it's a little bit of on the darker side, which is just gonna be the conspiracies of cartoons.
Okay.
There's always subliminal messaging always put out in media, which is music or TV shows, and
Hidden messages.
when growing up, like, I don't know, this is just an opinion of mine, where it's just like, when we're little kids, the Disney movies that we used to watch were just like, they were funny, but we were just liking the animation.
It turns
But
out
then
they're pretty
rewatching it back and actually listening to the context of the movie, and you're just like, wait,
And it turns out to be pretty sexual.
Yeah.
Sometimes, to be honest.
and it's just like they're still doing
yeah.
it, and still till today,
I think a great thing about the cartoons that our age group grew up watching, those 90s and early 2000s cartoons, is it was especially the 90s one. It was it was done during a period where cartoonists, all these young innovative cartoonists, were stepping into the game, and they were given like free reign, it almost seemed, to
Yeah.
totally dish out their creativity and get these crazy cartoons out there like Cow and Chicken. Do you remember how freaking faded that fucking show was?
The South
Yeah.
Park.
Like, oh my goodness.
South Park.
South
South
Park.
Park.
Like how like the crudeness of South Park
The thing was
is
just that
faded in itself.
Just the thing
Oh
about
my
it in the
goodness.
past was that there was really not much of a filter on whatever, like you said, on the creativity that someone was
now.
gonna bring, and a lot of those
Just
old
took it
shows
really soft.
didn't hit at the time when we were watching them, but we thought they were funny, and they just automatically later on throughout the time passing, they just got super popular. South Park got very popular.
Oh, yeah.
It's a show that's very gritty, and the things that they say might trouble on some people that just can't handle that type of humor.
Too
you know?
soft.
Yeah, so it's just like,
That's what it is, bro. I mean, especially the 90s. 90s era is a very big part of our generation now.
yeah,
Very, very important generation now as we're moving forward to a new, obviously moving into a new century now, the 2000s now, obviously, millennium, sorry.
yeah,
And then, this class itself, this generation itself has a big impact on what the future holds.
you just gotta,
Obviously on censorship, when it comes to
Yeah.
censorship. Obviously about, when anyone get into like the LGBTQ whatever community, whatever,
yeah,
them, and then obviously, racism has a lot to do with it now. I mean, back then,
A
it
lot
wasn't,
of
it wasn't really, it
cartoons
wasn't
were-
really like, it wasn't really like
Yeah.
focused. You know, it was just
Yeah.
this is about being funny. You know,
Yeah.
they didn't really focus on the.
Yeah,
they
but
did.
not-
They did it to some point. To some point, but it's like, all right, we're gonna let it run. See what kind of. It wasn't much negative.
But see, but now that we're living more in an accepting society where anyone could just speak their voice out, people
Follow.
people follow, and it's just like
You
some
know
of
what?
the,
That
some
is
of these
racist.
things.
You know what? I'm
is
gonna
just like,
You know, I'm gonna follow. You know, like,
Is it a more
Like if you
accepting
know- like
society,
like if you-
or is
like
it
if you-
actually a less accepting
I
society?
think it's a less accepting
it's
now.
less accepting now than
It's both.
what it was
It's actually
before.
both. Because obviously,
I mean, the way I mean, we're not trying to bash on this generation, but you know, like you guys are going down a different type of path that people from younger
That's right.
generations are
Not us.
are not
Not us.
on. You know,
You guys.
the new
Y'all are
generation,
soft.
you know?
Y'all need Jesus.
Y'all need fucking.
no, y'all just need to
All
stop.
it is are tablets and everything.
Just stop caring about other people. Care about
Gotta
yourself.
go outside
like,
and scrape your knees and play in
No
some
more
dirt.
fun playing-
You know what I'm
stop,
saying?
stop paying attention
that's
to all
dying
that
out.
media stuff and all that.
No.
You don't need that in your life.
Oh
It was
man.
like, what's it gonna do to you? How's it gonna benefit you? And it's all that stuff.
See, but back then, the 90s cartoons had more of a purpose.
Yeah,
Of
they
teaching you a
did.
lesson, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
more of a moral understanding of life.
Yeah,
Compared to now, just stupidity.
yeah.
You know, like I haven't watched the latest cartoons or anything, but I mean, I grew up watching Rugrats. Obviously, I grew up watching, you know, we obviously King of the Hill, Simpsons, Cat Dog, Ed, and Eddie. You know, all these classic shows.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about life. You know what I'm
Scooby
saying?
Doo and all that.
Scooby Doo, especially. You know, like that's one of my instant favorites. You know,
So
they all have a lesson behind them. You know, like,
yeah,
I mean, nowadays it's just nonsense to me. I just see it. I'm like, wow, this is what the kids are listening to.
yeah.
It's faded, bro. Like I just think like, this is fucking. These guys are really high making these goddamn shows.
I guess like, are there any cartoons nowadays that you do fuck with?
I went back to my old school, fool, King of the Hill and
The Simpsons.
Simpsons, man. Go
Okay.
back to my roots. I listened back to the comedy, you know, from the start of the, obviously '88, whatever, from
Yeah.
Simpsons. I've been watching every
There's so many
episode.
episodes.
I've been watching every episode again, you know. So I'm like on season the 8 right now. So I'm just I see the transition from the comedy back then to now,
Like,
like
now.
to like obviously early 2000s.
It
I'm in
starts
the,
changing when I was.
and it's you know it's amazing, dude. Like it
And
starts
they're
getting,
one of the
it starts getting a
longest
little bit more
running shows
smarter.
out there too.
What's that?
And they're one of the longest running shows out there
Oh
too.
yeah, definitely. You know, just cartoon wise, them. You know, like fuck. That's the only thing in King of the Hill that
Would
The
you, would you
Simpsons-
would you consider them ahead of their time when
time
it when it
yeah.
came?
There's conspiracy that the time travelers.
And that's where our first topic was gonna come in.
What
We're
was
gonna
The
talk
Simpsons?
about the Simpsons. You know, we're talking about how that was one of the shows that we grew up, and it really impacted our lives growing up.
Well, look at the predictions.
And there's, you know,
There's a lot of
there's
predictions.
been a couple of conspiracies and predictions that the creators and the producers have put in that have actually came to life in the world that we are living in today. So one of the main conspiracies that has been popular for The Simpsons is, like you said, like, are these two like time travelers, or they have just been very lucky at guessing?
Well, I mean, for
Like
the most
it's just
part,
been luck.
the most part, I think is just wow, they've been on point, bro. Obviously,
Like, do you think they have some
the
type
last
of
one I remember was the
algorithm?
Trump one, and then the FaceTime. I mean, there's one. There's like a obviously like a FaceTime. I think there's one of those. What else have they come up with?
Well, they've come up with
Like September 11th, supposedly there's one.
Oh yeah, that
The
oh, yeah,
9/11
September
one?
11th was one of the big ones. I think they had a Super Bowl one.
Oh yeah, Super Bowl, exactly. That Super Bowl, Falcons versus the New England. I think.
Yeah, and then wait, was it that one? And then Brady won.
Oh no,
right?
Denver and Falcons or something like that.
It was,
forgot
one of,
what
it
it was.
was one of those, but yeah, you know they've done a lot of those games. I mean predictions there, and they put them on the
So
show.
the one that tripped me out was the Barack Obama and the Trump one. How like Homer was trying to choose Barack Obama, but kept choosing Trump. Kept choosing
Oh
Trump.
yeah, I mean there was that whole allegations of Trump, like
Obviously-
the Trump boxes for voting were like
They're screwed with.
they were screwing with them, you know.
I think a lot of it has to just be coincidence.
It's coincidence. Huh?
Coincidence,
What
just
is
lucky
freaking
coincidence.
the makers behind The Simpsons freaking predicting the future? Yeah, right. They ain't got no crystal ball. And yeah, man, just coincidence. freaking, they got a couple things right.
Remember that? Remember that Family
So
Guy?
did the Bible.
Remember the Family Guy episode where they bring in the Simpsons, and they were like, I guess the way they predict is that they have walruses and they throw freaking balls in there, and it takes like forever until a walrus grabs
yeah, I
that.
do remember
Just
that.
freaking. You know,
Family Guy
maybe
is-
they got
Yeah,
some
see?
walruses over there. You know, they got a little aquarium.
Family Guy's another favorite ass show. That's something else right there. Family Guy.
Family Guy. You know, a lot of people believe that Family Guy. Not a lot of people, but like people have accused Family Guy of being a ripoff of The Simpsons, and well, of course, I can totally see the similarities and the inspiration behind it.
It's still
But
funny.
I
in its
think
own
there's
way.
key differences, and I believe the humor itself is actually different. Some would probably say the humor is worse, but the humor is different, and
I mean
way they
that's
do
why those
gags on the
shows
show.
themselves are very popular because the comedy that they bring into the show is
Mhm.
very different from like you said, there are a lot of similarities, but just the execution of what the similarities are just very different. You know, like Peter is
stupid,
very you know,
and Homer is stupid. Then Lois is hot, and then Marge is hot.
Maggie, smart.
and
Stewie,
then
smart.
Stewie, yeah.
Oh, hey, there you go. That's a good. One.
So what would Bart be, Brian?
Bart,
Chris?
Chris.
There's only one Bart Simpson, homie. But anyways, you guys are stoned already, and we haven't even begun smoking yet. Let's break it down. Let's talk about cartoons. What's up? Ask me some.
So what cartoons did you grow up watching? What were your favorite ones? And are you watching any cartoons
Okay,
at this moment
so-
too?
I was ahead of my time, much like Abel over here. I was watching freaking, what's it called? King of the Hill. As a little kid. When all my other friends as a little kid are like, King of the Hill's boring. I
Yeah.
don't watch that show. It's stupid. I'm like, you guys, it's sophisticated humor afoot here.
Exactly.
You guys
Yeah.
just don't understand it. I
Subtle
loved
humor.
King of the Hill. I loved like the satire behind it of like
Everything, huh?
the middle-aged,
Just
middle
the white
class,
American
freaking
family.
everyday man. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of humor poking fun at white people and other races too and stuff. Like you got a barrage of different characters and different backgrounds on the show, so it's just
Octavio,
freaking funny, dude.
Trejo.
Oh, and
Um,
Danny Trejo's in that. Yeah.
I think some interesting conspiracies, if you will, or some dark theories about that you could say maybe for King of the Hill is like
Ooh.
maybe mental illness among Hank Hill and Peggy Hill. Maybe they both have
Some sort of. I
Disorder.
mean, you know, at the end of the day, they
It's not-
every character in there suffers from some sort of trauma
Peggy Hill.
in very many different ways.
I think might potentially have brain damage because
From her
Although,
accident?
in the early couple seasons, she actually
She
seems like
goes-
the more sensible one of the two. Like Hank is very rigid and old school, whereas Peggy is maybe more flexible and open to new ideas. You know, concerning whether that's parenting or freaking
Well, it's benefit-
the way couples
Yeah.
should be socially or a lot or whatever. But then after she freaking skydives
Yeah,
with
she went
Hank and
skydiving.
smacks the floor, a lot of people think that maybe she got brain damage because after that, I mean, Peggy's always been a highly confident woman. Maybe that's what Hank Hill finds attractive in her. But after that, she becomes like an egomaniac.
Very
She
narcissistic.
develops this narcissistic personality where she thinks she's highly intelligent and the wittiest person. She thinks she speaks perfect
she's just very,
Spanish.
she's just very strong in her.
But,
She's very
yeah,
strong in
es
her
estúpida.
beliefs, you know. And
Yeah.
when someone comes up to her and tells
She does a
her
good
a
job of
different
understanding her.
aspect of the way, like you said in the beginning, she was very more open. Where, you know, now she's, like you said, more egotistical, where she just believes everything that she says is correct until told not, and then that's when she just starts throwing a fit. You know, she's had a lot of fits going out in that
This is
show.
a cinnamon stick, by the way.
Ooh, okay.
I'm sorry.
It's a new
Continue.
trend we're starting here, guys. We're doing the cinnamon, smoking the cinnamon.
Oh shit! Is it stuffed?
With cinnamon.
Going back to Peggy, though,
cinnamon
man.
surprise.
I think that part we saw where she fell off the plane. You know, obviously her parachute fails. You know, obviously give her a different outlook of life because you know, remember she was crying about GH, little good Hank,
Because,
Klein's little son.
why? Because she wanted another kid or something
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like
Yeah,
that.
I think
She-
so.
We're going through the
But
midlife
she-
crisis, I think, at the time, you know. But that's that point. That's where the conspiracy comes where Bill's Hank
Oh yeah, the conspiracy that Hank Hill's not Bobby's real father.
Exactly.
It's actually Bill.
But the thing is, Peggy admits that she wasn't a virgin before she got married. She had, she had relations with another guy, and Hank is all tripped out about it. Remember? Because they always give away Hershey's Kisses.
The guy that ends up being gay. So
Yeah.
Peggy's like, if that makes you feel better, he wasn't even straight. And Hank's like, whoa.
It was hysterical.
It does not make me feel better.
Yeah, so I mean, Peggy got to some shit. Obviously, what was the conspiracy behind Hank though?
So Peggy could potentially be have maybe some sort of borderline personality disorder.
Like a bipolar
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, that could be that.
Maybe
too.
bipolar, but I think more like Luann's mom could be bipolar or something. Because she's probably dual diagnosis, like an addict, an alcoholic, and bipolar, and all this stuff. What they say about Hank is he's potentially suffers from a mild case of Asperger's because could as I look up the definition of Asperger's, so I sound professional on this podcast, I will say some reasons that it's apparent in the show is possibly because Hank, he's super obsessed with propane and certain other things.
And routine.
Propane accessories. Very good, Josh.
And routine. He's a man of routine.
He is. He's just a very traditional American man.
That's true, but
that's how it
loves
was.
his lawn.
Like when his job has him look into that game that these young game developers made in the show called Propane. And Hank is playing online, and you cannot pull him away from it. It affects his job. It affects his personal life. It affects his life with his family. He cannot bring himself to be away from this fucking video game. And so Peggy Hill has to step in and save the day. So maybe Peggy Hill really is as great as she thinks. So yeah, Hank is super obsessed over those things.
That's a strong woman,
he's
bro.
very emotionally distant and stoic.
Yeah.
And rigid, like I said before.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Very,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
He's a
that's
very
just
secluded person.
Maybe that's just a stereotype of freaking men, like being like, oh, not expressing their feelings and stuff. Because men are the freaking backbone, ladies and gentlemen, of a strong family.
We hold the wall.
Along with a strong woman.
Yeah, of course.
She is the
need
head.
that one strong woman.
So
That's how
maybe
we rule.
There's potentially he suffers from Asperger's, or maybe he's just old school, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess he has a very traditional way of doing things, very traditional religion.
Oh yes, we'll talk about that in a few moments from now, about the narrow urethra thing, where that plays.
His person obviously it has some effect to his personality, to his mental. You know, so it's like
he also has like no ass, like in that episode.
No
Maybe that's why he's so like embarrassed about conversations centering around emotions or sexuality, because he's like he has no ass and he has a narrow urethra, and he's from a time period where I don't know, there wasn't sex education like they have nowadays for us. Like we got to watch a video,
and it's in southern,
back then. They didn't know what
states
the fuck.
too, so
Kyle didn't have
Southern states.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle didn't
Sound like you're some sort of American hater. Cause I'm a simple kind of man.
Ooh.
And I watch King of the Hill all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what they say about Hank.
Okay.
Maybe, and they say Peggy Hill, yeah, maybe she has that personality disorder, or she's just a narcissistic personality.
Right.
Maybe she's just self-conscious about her giant feet size.
16.
So she's compensating by trying to be thinking she's great at everything.
And we also have another character that's a fellow conspirator, just like us. We got Mr. Dale Gribble.
Shaw. But real name, Rusty Shackelford.
Rusty, huh?
He is definitely a
character.
He should be a guest host on freaking The Faded Theory.
He should.
Dale Gribble. But I don't know if I would want to pass that fool of cinnamon stick. He freaking might start acting a little weird.
He's on shrooms.
Oh yeah.
I mean, these mushrooms to survive.
No, he wasn't really rabid like he thought.
Yeah.
Suffering from radiation.
So why are you talking? You got buzz coming out of your mouth. Oh, man, that's a great episode.
Yeah, it is.
But to kill a ladybird. That's an episode.
Brilliant.
The conspiracy behind Dale that people have spoken was that he is in some sort of denial because he actually knows the truth, that John Redcorn is actually Joseph's father. He's just,
Yeah. I don't know. I think
and
he's
just knowing that his wife is just
Is he just
literally
playing the fool?
bullshitting him.
Dale Gribble. Does Dale really know that not only has John Redcorn been committing infidelity with Dale's wife over all these years, but on top of that, John Redcorn is the real father of Joseph Gribble, and it's very obvious from
Good point.
that Joseph looks definitely Native American.
Yeah.
So doesn't look white
Or
or like
alien.
Gribble at all. And I'm sure that Dale's theory about the space aliens taking Dale's DNA and combining it with like their alien DNA and then injecting it into Nancy and creating Joseph, well, call me a party pooper on that one, but that one's not true either.
Definitely not happening.
Freaking when it comes to Dale though, he could just be totally oblivious and he's just stupid and he doesn't see that Nancy's two-timing him with John Redcorn throughout most of the series. But it would make sense if Dale really did know what was going on, because maybe Dale feels he's getting back at John Redcorn because what is John Redcorn pursuing throughout the entire
Land.
saga besides acres of land
Her.
and Nancy? He's pursuing a relationship with Joseph. He's always trying to be a teacher or a mentor to him.
Yeah.
That's right.
He's trying to be this
That's right.
fatherly person to
That's
Joseph,
true.
as close as he can be, because he's held back. He's distant because Nancy's with Dale. That's the family. Nancy,
Yeah.
Dale, and Joseph.
Obviously, John can't get
So
involved.
maybe Dale takes a certain amount of satisfaction for not only his own sanity, but he gets a little taste of revenge in knowing that, hey, you know what, John Redcorn? I know
My
what you
son.
did, but this is my son, and no space aliens or Native Americans are going to take him away from me. I run with the buffalo.
Zach Where's from Doug Gribble.
He was a very creative character for sure. In
Thanks,
that
Mike
show.
Judge, for that.
Hell yeah, man.
Mike Judge is great.
He is.
Shoot, some people say there's a conspiracy that Boomhauer is related to Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
Oh, shit. Him and Butch, huh?
Oh, bad.
His brother
Damn.
Butch. And then, I was just saying, the other conspiracy about Boomhauer is a Texas Ranger looking after,
Dale.
investigating Dale.
Oh, yes.
But since he knows Dale won't do anything crazy, he just kicks back, fucks bitches, and chills in his fucking badass
Where's the light?
pad.
That the government has supposedly been onto Dale and a little suspicious and aware of Dale's suspicion and
He has a bunch
activities.
of weapons, too, remember that?
So they have Boomhauer, who is a real life Texas Ranger and maybe even more, go undercover to supposedly spy on Dale.
Jeffrey Boomhauer, that's his real name.
Because Dale was correct on the
alright.
conspiracy.
At the last episode last episode of King of the Hill, it shows his badge, Texas Ranger.
Oh,
His name
yes.
Jeffrey Boomhauer.
Sick.
So it tells at the end that he's
Freaking
Jeffrey.
Boomhauer.
Damn.
That's what he knows about cars. I mean, he's into cars, you know. I mean, that doesn't have to do with anything with it. Doesn't have to do with anything, but obviously, remember that time? Well, he gets them off the hook all the time. Remember that time they stole the tank?
That's true. They stole the tank.
And how did he not get fucking charged for that? Like, dang, come on. That's a government. You're breaching fucking government property. Obviously, the U.S. Army. So you got fucking Hank. I mean, you got Boomhauer bailing them out on some crazy shit. I mean, who knows, man?
And they don't talk about Boomhauer's job too much in the show either. There's
No.
this
No, at
mystique
all.
behind it.
He's always that mysterious man. No one knows
He's a
that.
full-time bachelor, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Playboy, man. Playboy.
Dango undercover man. Is Dango freaking cars woman and vroom vroom vroom. Women to call you and be like, oh, what are you doing tonight? I'm Dango, baby. I'm freaking Texas Ranger. Booyah. Mm-hmm.
Know what I'm saying? Boomhauer's great, though, man. So, I mean, that pretty much covers it for King of the Hill, no?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know any other theories.
One other one, they say potentially Bill Dauterive is Bobby Hill's real father. Because, well, for one, as we mentioned earlier, Hank has a narrow urethra.
Oh, that's right.
So that's he's not able to get the soldiers through the freaking canal in order to imperialize the land. impregnate the egg, make it a zygote. So there's been they've had so much trouble, and supposedly when they got Ladybird as a puppy, it made them all forget about the pressures and stress of trying to get pregnant. And they forgot about that and just learned to be in love with each other, enjoy their time together, and that supposedly relaxed Hank's narrow urethra enough to squeeze some sperm candidates through and impregnate Peggy.
And get Bobby out of there.
And that's how they got Bobby out of it. And then the conspiracy is that that's not true, and Hank wasn't able to get Peggy pregnant, and she actually got pregnant maybe and out of frustration of not being able to get pregnant or this and that. And in a drunken night of horrible mistakes, slept with Bill Dauterive.
And Mary Bill Dauterive was better.
Which is why she despises
And
him
Bill
throughout
Dauterive-
the whole season. You know,
She's probably already a lop, like, by the time, like, when Bobby was born. But way before that, he was a stud.
13 years ago.
13 years
Bobby's about 13 years old.
Damn.
So 13 years. Well, he was married with Lenore.
Yeah.
So he's been divorced for a while.
Bobby does display some similar traits to Bill Dauterive in that he's freaking fat. I think that's the main one.
Bald.
Kind of round. His hair's just short. He's not bald. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he could have the gene. I don't know. But I think
he looks very similar to Cotton though too.
I think like you see pictures of Cotton when he's younger and shit. And he looks strikingly similar to Bobby.
Yeah.
Because they have that similar haircut. But when Cotton's a child, you see the resemblance, and it's pretty strikingly
Straight
similar.
on.
Hey, looks a lot more like his mom, obviously. But they saying also that the whole point of the show is Hank preventing Bobby from being gay. I mean, that's what one of my coworkers told me that the whole point. If you think about it, Bobby's into I mean, he has a girlfriend. Don't get me wrong, but he's into very feminine stuff like roses. You know, he's into
Instead of football, he wanted to be in soccer on a team called the Puffin Stuffs. He's into, instead of stories about, I don't know, freaking cowboys and Texas Rangers and stuff, he reads about the elves of freaking whatever the hell, some Lord of the Rings knockoff.
Algernon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flowers for Algernon, huh?
And then, that's something else, but flowers for Algernon? Damn, that's some old shit. I read that in school.
I feel like that's just. So do you think Bobby suffers from just sort of that neglect, that, you know, everything that he tries to do to impress his dad just never?
I think
never, goes, you know.
I think
like,
it's just
that's why
the premise behind the show
where
is
he just does like little manly
like
things that make him proud, you know. But at the same time, like you said, that whole thing about sexuality and, you know, Hank Hill being
awkward about
just
it.
very closed off about it.
No, like
I
Bobby's
feel
just
like,
hiding it, you know. But
possibly the most like comfortable explanation could probably just be that in essence the show is about kind of the duality between generations now, young people like Bobby and Joseph, and the old school, like, you know, typical blue collar mentality of what it was to be a man back then, that Hank Hill in his mind tries to emulate.
Wow, it's
that
Bobby.
You know, to the
Yeah.
younger generation. Hank Hill wants, you know, Bobby to be a man and be solid and be
stud, you know?
freaking
Be
a
strong,
stud and good
yeah.
at football and freaking, you know, doing all this into propane and grilling and caring for your lawn and knowing how to work on your car and tools. He's that typical jack of all trades dad. And then Bobby is freaking wanting to paint freaking clouds on his wall.
Or
playing with little troll dolls and like going through, you know.
Too.
And Bobby's a wimpier kid than Hank
Peggy's
was.
fucking heels.
So freaking, I think the conflict between the younger and older generation
It's just
and
not the
those
understanding.
stereotypes, I think that plays a big part in the hilarity behind the show.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
Yeah.
not necessarily that the purpose of the show is Hank doesn't want Bobby to be gay.
No, that's
Obviously, Hank doesn't want Bobby to be gay because Hank is a Methodist Christian, and he's a freaking classic old school freaking white guy. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's not what's comfortable and freaking understandable
Yeah.
to him, you know. So
Exactly.
Like I said,
I
it's your
think that's,
typical-
like,
it's your typical
premise
American
So he has a certain
family.
way towards it, you know. He has a certain point of view towards that stuff. It makes him feel awkward, you know. That's funny. That's what, like you said, that's what makes the show so funny.
Yeah.
That awkwardness when he encounters those things. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, overall, King of the Hill is one of the best shows ever.
That's what really. It was very advanced
Very,
for its
faded,
I
generation.
second that.
Very, very faded. Think might judge for that, you know.
Yeah, but now let's go into a different type of cartoon. Something a little bit more kiddish and per se, but you know there is a big one about the Rugrats.
Oh, I used to watch it on this.
You know, the conspiracy behind that is that Angelica is the only one that sees the babies.
She's schizophrenic, I've heard.
Yeah, that she suffers from some sort of schizophrenia and
Schizophrenic.
And it's a pretty popular conspiracy that I read as well.
she just suffers from the neglect of her mom. You know, her mom's always working. She never pays attention to her. The dad's rarely there as well. You know.
But what about the other characters? How are they going to play the show Rugrats?
Well, they're saying the one other conspiracy with that was that Stu was making the toys under his basement because, you know, apparently Tommy never was really born.
He was stillborn.
So yeah, you know, they
That's scary.
suffered a miscarriage and
Oof.
he just
So-
couldn't take it. And
So, Angelica is possibly suffering from schizophrenia and maybe issues with her family and home life. Like, she has a mom that's like this businesswoman. She's like Jan from The Office, you know. She's always up and about and out there freaking working on her career. And then she has her stay-at-home
Always on her
dad
cell phone.
who,
She's always on her cell phone.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
always on her cell phone, this and that. And she's the strong woman role model in her life. So maybe
Yeah.
she suffers from lack of attention and parenting from her mother, and maybe that affects her, and maybe that's why she freaking in her head, or if she's schizophrenic, like in particular, that would just mean that, you know, she hears well, there's different levels to schizophrenia, but she'd be hearing sounds and potentially seeing things and perceiving things that aren't really there.
That's how she created everybody.
And maybe she's creating all these things in her head, and like I think I actually, when I was like a teenager, I read something like this on a freaking Facebook article link, where it was saying that, yeah, she's making all these people up, and like Tommy was a stillborn or something like that, and isn't really there, and that's why Stu is in the basement making toys for the son that he never had, and so it's just this dark like twist on
What about
Rugrats
the
reading all these
twins?
things.
Like one's a boy and one's a girl. How does that work? I don't understand. What's their
I can't quite remember, but maybe they died in a car accident or something like that. And I can't remember the thing behind Chucky either.
Chucky? He always felt sad. He always sad. Because of
He wants a mom.
His mom died, no, something like that.
Yeah.
It's all right, because in Rugrats, the second movie, where Rugrats in Paris,
He's
he
married.
gets a mom,
Yeah, Kimmy. Isn't Kimmy
and he
his
gets a
sister.
sister? Huh?
sister, lady de Guadalupe.
So doesn't
Did
he
you guys
date
like
an
those?
Asian woman?
Did you guys like those Rugrats movies?
Oh yeah, dude, they're hard, dude. I had the Rugrats watch. Yeah, you got it from like McDonald's.
Oh, the
or whatever.
McDonald's.
Back
Yeah,
in
I think it was like lime green, neon green.
You know how cool the things we used to get as kids, as freaking kids meals were, instead of what they freaking
Movies.
get now,
Hey,
dude. The orange
that was Burger King,
VHSs.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I
some
think.
pretty sick
so.
toys
McDonald's
as a
had
kid
the
coming out of
McDonald's.
Yeah,
McDonald's.
the sick-
Do they even
Dude, they
have
had a lot of
toys at McDonald's now?
Yeah, but they got
Are they
like
whack?
the Trolls one or like those Disney new movies that are coming out.
Bro, we used to get some sick
Like,
shit.
dude,
Didn't we used to get like Bionicle
do you remember the
type
glass cups?
shit? Yu-Gi-Oh type
Yeah,
shit one
glass cup,
time?
Glass cups
Classic, dude.
with the Disney on it.
Yeah, dude.
What? I don't remember no
Crazy,
McDonald's
glasses.
glass
Yeah,
cup.
I always collect them, dude.
I still have a lot of my old
This is
school.
I don't
Disney
feel at the
stuff.
house. I'm so burnt away.
I still need to see it.
Damn, I forgot about those. Then
My kid's gonna have some shit to play with.
the plays, remember? But yeah, I mean, overall, I think Rugrats is that's a pretty good show. Obviously, the adventures they had. So it just comes to think of it, like, damn, all this time, like all these characters just made up in Angelica's head.
Do you guys think there's enough or any evidence at all that's presented in the series, though, that theory would in fact be true? That she is, a mentally
go back and
disturbed
watch it again.
child, like,
Cause then they
with all
get
these
big. Remember, they
imaginary
go to,
friends of the kids that could have been.
but then they get all big. Remember, they start going to junior high and stuff like that.
Maybe because her mom acts all high and mighty, and that's why
I just
with these
became-
made-up dead babies, she's like, "Ha, stupid babies," and shit. So she's all trying to emulate her mother.
She's always going after the cookies, remember? That was her mission, go after the cookies.
So break that down, psychologist Abel.
What do you mean?
What does Angelica always going after cookies represent in her psyche? What is this craving for cookies? What is this obsession with cookies?
It's an obsession, I guess, dude. That's what it is. She just loves cookies. She'll do anything. She's going to get in trouble. She's going to get in trouble for them, you know.
It's for that sugar
Okay,
rush.
so I found the Chucky one. It said that Chucky died in 1986 along with his mother. That's why Chaz is a wreck all the time. The Stu conspiracy about Tommy not being a stillborn. For Phil and Lil is that they had an abortion in 1990, and Angelica couldn't figure out whether it would be a boy or a girl, and that's how she created the twins.
What the fuck?
Man, it kind of gave me chills. That's
Pretty weird.
creepy.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what? I can fucking see it though. Oh my god, in my head, like, Chucky's dad is a wreck, so maybe that's why
sad.
she thinks.
Because
She imagines
he's
Chucky
always,
as being a freaking wreck too.
Yeah,
Why would
always
he
being
be? Probably
scared
like
'cause
his
he's a little
father, always
pussy,
so
you know?
freaking scared.
Little high note.
Kid who, I think freaking he's scared of
he was-
oatmeal.
He was just troubled. Like he lost both his wife and his kid.
And then
Let's
the
try.
freaking
So it's
abortion
like,
thing.
you know,
My
he was
God,
always
man.
he always had
The
the
abortion part, the little deal.
That's
part.
freaking a crazy one.
Little
And
Phil, right?
She
Little
thought, oh, so maybe in her head, I'll just make
Make both.
twins. It's
Phil.
both.
And they both sound the same. Whoa.
Until all grown up.
All grown up.
that one was pretty good too.
It was
I
alright.
kept watching a little bit past when.
So did I. I had to.
It was
I
alright.
had to give it a try, you know. But
No, I just not
fuck,
really
so
continue to
that's a
watch.
trivial. Rugrats is a crazy ass conspiracy.
We also have the big one.
You guys on a mission to ruin my childhood today.
We are.
What's
And we're
happening?
sorry, people out there.
Hey, guy here.
But we're just these are just our faded thoughts. Like these are conspiracies that like I said, media does do a lot of subliminal messaging. It's just us as people if we're gonna end up being the ones to receive that message.
Who knows if they're true, anyways, bro? I mean, it's just people's passing along of faded thinking, like, oh man, it's possible this person's like this. They made the show because of this, But I mean, who knows if it's true? The writers know. Only the writers know what's really going on in their heads. What are they really thinking? What ideas they get based off of their show off of. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of cartoonists-
or maybe it's just the expectations that people had, or what. A lot of people do suffer from different things. So when you watch something, everybody has a different take on what they watch, which is why everybody has a different opinion. So it's just like,
That's a shame.
so maybe when
are-
people watch these things, maybe that aren't maybe like receiving the message, or simply are just trying to create their own story. I think that's where conspiracies start. It's just people start freaking thinking.
Cut me off one more time and I'll conspire to remove you from the podcast. No, I understand. That would be my faded conspiracy theory against you.
Right.
But I was thinking, dude, cartoonists of all these classic cartoons that we like, they're probably faded as well, dude. Coming up with
No doubt.
some of the
Being
jokes. There's so many jokes from these old shows that totally flew over my head as a little kid, or maybe I got them, but I didn't really understand how truly adult and crude of a joke it was.
Especially King of the Hill.
That way.
King of the Hill has a lot of subtle humor. Like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed this.
It's fun. It's fun. It's entertaining.
How is it funnier now than it was before?
Like I said, it's something that in its time ends up growing, which is what a good show is. Like it leaves its mark somehow, and
Oh yeah, no doubt.
anybody's
No doubt.
view. But like you said, it's just like some of us, when we watched it, we actually understood what we were watching at that time, which is just like the advancement of us that we have,
Exactly.
We're just there where it's like until this, but now that we're older and,
Yeah.
we've lived life and watching these shows, and you're like, going back to me like, damn, I remember why I like this show so much, and that's why you keep watching it till now, you know.
Dang.
Exactly.
Are there any Ed and Eddie conspiracies out there?
There is something. I heard something about them being in a purgatory or something.
What?
Yeah.
Told y'all kids, y'all need Jesus. See what happens?
Yeah, dude. And then what the biggest one right now, which might, be the last topic for tonight. We got SpongeBob SquarePants.
No, that's a show with many adult jokes that went over my head as a kid. Like,
With them listening to them
Sandy's
now.
like, SpongeBob doesn't have hair. Or does he? He looks all like tripped out.
It's just a lot of playful humor. Where it's just like, but they were still adult in their ways. Where it's just like,
Mm-hmm. So, what's the deal with SpongeBob? What do you got to say about
so the
Bikini
biggest conspiracy there is when it comes to SpongeBob SquarePants was one that they said that it represents the 7 deadly sins, each character that's in the show. So like, SpongeBob
Bottom? So
is the representation of lust.
I've
Because
heard
he's
this.
just so
I've heard this theory before.
What's
and
lust for?
I was just about to ask you. So, do you know which characters are specifically what? So SpongeBob is lust.
What's
So
Because
the
he is always wanting.
yeah, SpongeBob is lust. He's always just very
He wants to be loved.
optimistic, always looking for love. Yeah, everything that he did like excited him in some sort of way. Whereas just like,
Lust. Okay. I could kind of see the connection between lust and SpongeBob as like an
Yeah.
origin for his personality.
the person that
It's just normally people would associate like lust with like freaking wanting like with sexuality or wanting to be like sensual or someone like that kind of lust, like
Yeah.
desire.
That's what I thought.
There you
towards
go.
an
Every
individual.
like a desire.
But
basically.
desire, yeah, that's a good word that
one.
fits with SpongeBob
Yeah.
SquarePants' personality. Man,
We got Patrick Star, which he's the one that represents just like
that food's
laziness and,
gotta be what's called what is it, sloth?
Yeah.
Freaking, he's total lazy. Freaking,
There's one on
he's
Rock.
like Bill Dauterive of Bikini Bottom, except just funnier.
I don't know, man. Patrick honestly was my favorite character in that show. Everything he said, everything he did was just like,
Just an
oh
idiot.
my god, he was just that person. I was
The
like,
inner
damn,
imaginations of my mind are an enigma.
firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it. Yeah, hey, Patrick's tripped out, man. He's
There's anger
he
issues.
can also be violent at times.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
anger issues.
Jesus. He's freaking totally laid out.
His sharp teeth.
Our foamy sea sponge friend sometimes. His sharp teeth, he said.
we
Scares you
got,
or what?
we got Sandy, which is pride, because she's proud to be from Texas. She's always representing her state. Always
She's
missing
always,
it, always
Just a
homesick.
squirrel, huh?
She's very athletic and she's very competitive, always trying to kick SpongeBob's ass in karate.
Those are always
Yeah, yeah.
entertaining to watch. She was a good character too. She had her moments.
Yeah.
We had Mr. Krabs, which he was
Money,
a
money,
representation of greed. He was a
Oh
very
yeah,
greedy
straight.
person.
You could see that one.
I was trying to
miles away from
save,
the ocean floor.
Save a dollar.
Money.
I mean, that dude literally sold SpongeBob's soul for like, what was it, like 32 cents or something? He's like, Mr. Krabs, how could you? You think I could have got more? For SpongeBob's soul, he sold it to the Flying Dutchman. He is a greedy bastard who doesn't give a fuck about no one.
Anybody,
That is
yeah.
definitely his 7 deadly sin. Like, whether that theory is true or not, that totally
Yeah.
embodies
It fits
his
perfectly on him.
characterization.
We got Plankton. That he's the envy. He's very envy
Envy,
of the
yes.
success that Mr. Krabs has.
And he's small too.
Why won't people eat at the chum bucket, Dick?
Because
Do they
they're
not
fish.
like chum? I thought fish like chum. Or is chum dead fish? The fish eat each other. There you go. What the heck?
You kind of portray that in the show as a kid.
What if that's the secret ingredient? So
remember
the
that?
Krabby Patty.
Remember
chum.
the episode where Mr. Krabs plays a joke on Plankton, where he says that plankton is one of the main ingredients in the Krabby Patty.
And all of Plankton's inbred hillbilly cousins are like, what? And then they all run away. When they freaking finally capture what they think is the real Krabby Patty secret formula. But,
Who's next?
shoot.
The last one we got here that talks about is Gary, which Gary represents gluttony.
Gluttony. Because he's always eating shit.
'Cause
Didn't
he's
he
always
eat the
eating.
couch one time?
Yeah, he was always wanting to be fed. Always trying to get that episode where he tries to get the cookie from Patrick.
Oh, yeah. And he totally ignores SpongeBob and totally dismisses him and doesn't acknowledge his existence like your owner, your best friend, because you want the cookies that his friend has. Man.
Funny.
That episode was, oh my gosh, Patrick at the end. I thought what we had was special.
Oh,
This was on
man.
the trip, man.
Yeah, SpongeBob was a very popular show. I mean, I know it's still going on, but
Is that
throughout
7,
its-
though?
throughout its
SpongeBob,
moment.
Patrick, Sandy, Mr. Krabs, Plankton, Gary. What about our friend Squidward?
Squidward. Oh,
Squidward. I'm
Mr.
Squidward. I'm Squidward. Squidward.
He was the representation of wrath because he was always angry.
Is that a 7 deadly sin? Wrath?
Like hatred? Like
Ah. But the older I grow, the more I identify with Squidward. Oh, man. I hate everybody.
So, is your representation wrath? Are you wrath, mister?
I am very wrathful.
Are you angry in there?
Watch out for my
Gonna let
wrath.
it
I'll
out.
scathe you. Physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually.
Hey.
Do it to him. That's pretty much it, huh?
Yeah.
Mm.
So there's
I
some
think
very
that's
good
totally. I
topics
could
that we
totally
got
see that
into.
in all those freaking characters, those
Yeah.
main characters of SpongeBob. I think another quick one for SpongeBob conspiracy theory is supposedly Mr. Krabs adopted
Pearl.
his daughter Pearl because she's obviously a whale and he's obviously a crab. And
So-
even in the cartoon world of Bikini Bottom, something does not add up there. We've never seen Pearl's mom. It's been theorized that Pearl's mom was actually killed by whale hunters or blubber gatherers, if you will.
Yeah.
And
Mr.
Pearl
Krabs
survived.
found her.
And I think this was all generated from a meme that was circulating online, or a little few comic panels where it showed Mr. Krabs saying, "I'll take care of you, little girl," after he finds Pearl as a young baby crying, huddled across her mother's, huddled on the side of her mother's dead body.
Yeah.
Confused and not know what's going on. And
Wow.
Mr. Krabs took her in. And that's why Eugene is the man. Even though, he's greedy, but he has
cares.
some endearing, character-saving personalities.
Well,
They will let him in the pearly gates, probably.
we'll see.
Maybe
More.
he's gonna try to buy his way in with all that money that he
Amen
saved.
to
It's
that.
like you just gotta go down there. Come on, I got it. Let me in. Oh my God, those damn cartoons, man. Cartoons did a lot in our generation.
Taught a lot.
Rick and Morty had a lot of conspiracy theories about it for quite some time. But I think in the last season, a lot of questions were answered.
Yeah.
So,
There's
We shall
there's
see.
a lot, many more conspiracies out there, not just in cartoons,
Go back to what I
movies.
mentioned.
maybe we talk about some real life ones soon.
Ooh, like I said, one of the biggest ones is subliminal messaging in music. There's a lot of stuff in there too.
Dang.
That's another
But,
episode
you
right
know,
there.
Trying to sell sex to us, ladies and gentlemen. Like on that South Park episode. We need you to wear the purity rings so we can sell sex to little girls. That was Mickey Mouse.
honestly,
For those of you out there who don't know.
that show, that cartoon, everyone has to watch. One of
South Park?
South Park is one of my favorite shows, man. I still watch it till that.
South
That's
Park's
one of the
really
most
good.
current cartoons that I still watch till today.
Maybe not
you
for
know?
everybody.
It's not for everybody.
It's not.
definitely.
No, it's not for
If you're
everybody.
soft, you
but-
watch that shit.
But still, like if you like that type of humor, it's a good show to watch. Especially, I mean, starting from the first couple episodes, those episodes were hilarious.
Let us know in the comments. ladies and gentlemen, if you
Like and
guys know of any
subscribe.
freaking theories that we missed out on any of these
let us know
shows.
in the comments. You know, we want to
Like
know.
and subscribe. Higher Passion Entertainment.
Oh yeah, we
This
are
is the
Higher
Faded Theory,
Passion.
fellas and ladies.
Damn.
Oh, yes.
It was good catching up with you guys, man.
Glad to be
It
here,
was a
man.
good time,
Appreciate you guys
good
having me.
time.
And Stefan.
All right. Shh. Smell you later.
All right, guys.
Adios.
Good night. Take care.